G'day everyone, it's Curtis here and welcome to an On The Back Wheel video. Today I'm going to talk about why I bought the Suzuki V-Strom 800DE. So why did I buy the V-Strom 800? Well, there's a fair few reasons, but probably number one is I wanted an adventure bike. Since I've had the KLR, my channel has become much more adventure bike focused and I love doing that style of riding. I am going to be doing the odd road bike review here and there and the odd street video. But most of my content is going to be adventure bike focused. People actually questioned, hey, did you actually buy this? I don't know whether it's because in the past I've reviewed bikes and not bought them. You know, I get them from manufacturers and do a review on them. But yes, I did buy this. I even did a pickup video, so check that out if you want. Why did I buy the V-Strom 800 over its competitors? Well, that is one of the bigger questions, I suppose. The bikes I kind of made a short list of were the Aprilia Touareg 660, the Honda Transalp 750, Gas ES 700, which is also like your Husky 701 and KTM 690, and CRF 450L. I quickly cancelled out the Aprilia Touareg. For those who watch the channel, I reviewed the Touareg and I absolutely loved it. You know, that is the bike I probably most like to own out of all those. But I've already reviewed it and I've already created content on it. So I went, oh, you know, that's been done by me and people are doing it now on other channels as well. They bought their own and they're reviewing it. So I thought, no, I'll steer clear of that. Plus people kind of expected it. The Gas ES 700, I actually went and sat on one at the shops and I really liked it. I thought, oh, this is a nice bike. This would really suit my style of riding. I like to ride relatively quickly off-road and push things. That would suit me nearly perfectly. I could do like a rally tower build, commute to and from work on it, just be a bit of a loon on it, you know, 70 horsepower, 160 kilos. Be a wheelie machine, be a lot of fun. But there's not enough interest in it. I had a look and while people are like, yeah, it really suits you, I'd love to see it, realistically, people aren't gonna watch it. And I need to buy something that's gonna suit my channel and that people are gonna watch. You know, it's a bit of an investment. This is $18,500 Australian. I'm not sure exactly what the US price is, but you know, it's not cheap there either, I'd imagine, to be 11,000 plus. It's a lot of money. So I need to kind of get a return on investment and have something I want to own as well. The CRF 450L, I thought, what a great light adventure bike that would make. I haven't really seen people commuting on them and doing that kind of content, so I thought maybe I could do that. Make a light adventure bike build, like a rally build would be absolutely amazing. It's the perfect bike for it, really. Got a great base. And do commuting videos on it and stuff as well. I'll talk about how it is commuting, and I'm only half an hour from the dirt, so even less if I go to some smaller sections up here. Perfect for me. I don't have to ride too far, and I don't really do many big trips. I probably do 2 or 3 a year, not even that. I've done one in the last year. So I cancelled that out for a few reasons. One is they don't sell them here anymore. Well, you can't buy them new. You can get them secondhand. You get some cracking deals secondhand, which kind of drew me towards them. Maybe down the track I could get one cheap secondhand, have this as my long distance kind of bike and for commuting, and keep that as a play bike. Where like if we go camping, I thought it'd be great to have one of those if I go camping, and my wife and I like to go camping, by the way. If we went camping, I could just throw that on the back of the ute along with all our other stuff and just duck off for a couple of hours and then come back and do the family thing in the afternoon. But I might even go the other way. I might go for something even lighter, like a dedicated enduro bike for that. We'll see. The idea of doing that really interests me though. I also tossed up the idea of the Beta 480 or Beta, whatever you want to call it. I call it Beta 480. They look like an absolute weapon and make a fantastic light adventure build. There was actually a guy selling one. I think he might still be selling one. It's got like the rally tank on it, a couple of other accessories, really light plastic style bash plate. They are apparently a fantastic bike to use because they have relatively good oil capacity. They're 480, so they got longer strokes and not as highly strung, kind of like a KTM 500. I did look at the KTM 500 briefly, but I don't know, commuting on one of those, it's just a dedicated enduro bike, really. Those things are light, they're this tiny single. It could work, don't get me wrong, put a Cush Drive hub on it, bigger tank, seat concept seat. It could definitely work, don't get me wrong, but I thought, you know, that's not where I want to go just yet. So that leaves me with the Honda Transalp 750 and the V-Strom 800, which you know I already bought. The Transalp and this are probably the two hottest adventure bikes at the moment because they're both new, you know, especially the Transalp. Everyone wants to know information on the Transalp. And I really heavily considered it. In fact, I was just going to buy that at the end of the year. The plan was to sell the KLR at the end of the year and then change to something like this or the Transalp. And Transalp was going to be my choice. But then, you know, the KLR got written off and I thought, you know, I don't want a KLR anymore, and I replaced my new one and sold it. I wanted a bike. I rang Honda up, or my Honda dealership, I should say, and they said, look, they're not going to be in until probably the end of the year. We don't know. We haven't really had an update on them. So I was like, well, that just leaves the V-Strom then. You know, I'm tossing up between the two, and that's not going to be in, so I'm just going to go V-Strom. I started to get some quotes and stuff on this, and they rang me. The dealership was like, hey, you wouldn't believe it, this is actually going to be in 2 weeks, the Honda Transalp. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. I did not expect that. So I had a big think and quickly cancelled the Transalp out. Why? Number one is the suspension. The suspension really worries me on it, and the actual design of the Transalp itself. Honda, you can see they're really catering to more road, adventure touring and gravel, light gravel roads and stuff like that, and light dirt roads. Look at all the press launches. Not much off-road at all, a lot of light gravel. No one's pushing those bikes at all. I was hoping for it to be a mini Africa Twin, but what we got is a bigger CB500X, which is great. You know, that's a very popular market and people love them. But for me, I ride a bit harder off-road, and I just went, look, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to blow through that suspension. There wasn't enough clearance either. This has only very slightly more, but still more is better sometimes, as they say. It didn't have as much suspension travel. I believe it's got 190 and 200. I can't remember which one's front and rear, but you know, 190 mil isn't a lot. This has got 220 at both ends. So, and it's non-adjustable. We can adjust the preload, but that's it. And no doubt it's going to be soft. It'll probably be really good on the road and good for slower dirt and gravel, but as soon as you do some erosion, man, it's going to blow through and you're going to nearly die and be sent off in the bushes. Also, the design of it itself is sort of very exposed engine. You need to buy like a fitting kit, and there's $700 bloody bash plate. I know that's the Honda ones, I know that's more expensive, but it's a lot of money. And it just seems to be more road designed, very sit-in feel, looks like a touring bike. So I cancelled considering that bike, or stopped considering that bike for that reason, and settled on this. It's got better suspension, it's adjustable, compression, rebound and preload at both ends. So there's a lot of wiggle room there. If need be, I can just put some stiffer springs in it. Also, this is a bit of an underdog. People consider a V-Strom to be more of an adventure touring bike, and it has been in the past, and still is. The other models, the 650 and the 1050, they're definitely more touring focused. They're a road orientated bike with spoke rims, less suspension travel. This is a bit of an outlier. You know, Suzuki's trying to kind of take on the other bikes, the 10RA and Transalp and other things. It's a little bit heavier, but it's got its own place. And I look at it and I think this could make a fantastic adventure bike build. And a lot of people haven't seen that, I don't think. The main thing holding this back is the tyres. You saw in that first ride I did, this is extremely capable for a 230 kilo bike. The motor's fantastic. The base is there, suspension's good. I think just with some tyres and some minor tweaks and a tidy up, getting rid of some crap and putting some protection on, this is going to be an absolute weapon. And I think a lot of people have overlooked that because it's a V-Strom, whereas I can see past that. And I just think it's going to be such a good adventure bike once I've finished with my build. And a real all-rounder, because it's so capable on road. It's still got that good suspension that you shouldn't really need to spend any money on, or very little money on, to get it pretty Mickey Mouse. And another reason is, well, this and the Transalp are the next logical step for KLR owners. A lot of people followed me because of the KLR. People have been leaving because I don't have a KLR anymore. I get it. I mean, you should stay because of me, not just my bike. But I get it, you know, you're here for a bike. This is the next logical step for a lot of people who own the KLR. That's more of a learner entry-level bike. You know, I did stupid stuff on mine with the suspension upgrade. You can do really silly stuff and push that bike. But this is the next big step along the Transalp. and I think this is just a slightly better step for me. The best way to describe it is as a souped up KLR with adjustable suspension and 80 horsepower. That's pretty much what it is. It's a big pack mule. The back, this thing can take a huge load. That's what she said. Come on. All right, last video I said a good one. That was a good one too. But you can put a lot of weight in this. It's got a huge subframe on it. It's absolutely rock solid. It's a tank. But you can also modify it like the KLR, I think. Well, don't get me wrong, there's no parts out for this at the moment, which has been a bit of an annoying thing for me, because I'm like, all right, let's get the mod on, let's get the build on. But this is going to be highly modifiable. Different seat, you can put a rally style seat on this. I'm going to put the high seat on because I want more of a rally seat. I want it to be flatter here and here. So we'll see how the tall seat maybe goes, then I can modify that. We'll see. Hand guards, different bars if you really want to put them a bit more off-road focus and narrow and flatter. Put some risers on it. The pegs, one of the great things about the pegs is, we'll talk about this further down the track, but they're basically off-road pegs already. They have rubber mounts in them, but you can take out the rubber mounts, and you've got these pretty decent little pegs here. Yet to give them a good run, but they look like they're pretty solid. I can see looking at the videos, my first ride video, that people are interested in this bike. They want to see my style of content. For those who don't know, my style of content is more off-road focused adventure bike riding, and I like doing it on these bigger bikes. They're great to ride to and from work or to your destination. I'm actually excited to ride this down the highway at times and on the twisty roads, whereas I didn't have that in the KLR. KLR is just more of it's a destination bike. So anyways, I digress. That's why I bought the V-Strom 800DE. One, it's going to be good for the channel. I want an adventure bike, and I think this suits me more than a lot of the competition, or at least the competition that hasn't been covered already. So what do you think of the V-Strom 800? Do you think it's a good choice? I think a lot of people do, because you've said as much already. If you don't, say you don't think it's a good choice. It'd be like, Curtis, you're going to destroy this bike, or mate, I think you could have got a different bike that would have done just as well, or suited you, or you wanted to see content on it. And give me your suggestions. I want suggestions. I want questions and ideas. I write them down, believe it or not, and I take note of them all. I'm not just ignoring you guys. All right, everyone, that's it from me. I can talk all day about bikes. I just love bikes. Bikes are amazing. The V-Strom 800DE. If you haven't, make sure you click that subscribe button. There's going to be a ton of content on this. Ride videos, build videos, me talking rubbish videos, a bit like this one. But it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, everyone. Hit that subscribe button, keep it on the back wheel. Catches.